welcome to another episode of Car Ride Conversations with Chronically Ride, featuring me. I'm Rye, and welcome back to my car. Ryan and I actually moved about 45 minutes away from my hospital out of Roanoke to live in my hometown to save a little bit of money before the move. So I have a commute again. So Car Ride Conversations is back, baby! No, I actually did have a point coming on here today. I would like to speak specifically to the new graduate nurses that have graduated in the past year to 2 years, especially during COVID. So, before I address the new grad nurses, a little background on me. If you're not already familiar with my story, as far as my healthcare journey, not my disability story, I started running with a rescue squad in my hometown when I was 16. Became an EMT in 17, 18. Worked as an EMT all through high school, or the last 2 years of high school and college, and then worked as a CNA monitor, tech, sitter, patient transport, you name it, I did it for 2 years while I was in nursing school, full-time night shift, went to school full-time day shift because I was a crazy person, and then I became an RN. I've been a registered nurse since 2015 with the primarily worked in emergency medicine, with 2 years of case management experience and now 1 year of postpartum. That's me. So, I have been a charge nurse at every unit I've ever worked on. I just did the math this week and realized that I've been in healthcare for almost half my life. So this is why I would like to reach out to the new grad nurses, because I've been in healthcare a hot second and I've noticed some changes going on as far as new graduates who are graduating now and hitting the floors in the midst of COVID. Something that I wish somebody would have told me far earlier in my nursing career is that my nursing license is just that. It is my nursing license. Nobody else's name is on that license. My name is on that license. I went to school for that license. I sat for boards for that license. I worked my ass off for that license. That is mine. It is my job to not only protect myself and my patient safety, but also my license. What does that mean, Ryan? What do you mean protect your license? Of course, my employer would never put me in a situation that could jeopardize my nursing license, would they? Oh, sweet baby new nurses, let me tell you, yes, they will. They absolutely will. Because in a lot of hospitals and a lot of branches of healthcare, nurses and other healthcare professionals are just seen as a warm body and a number to fill out a matrix. So it is your job to advocate for yourself as a nurse, for your skill set, for the skills that you know how to do, and for your license. If you are ever, especially as a new nurse, especially if you're new to a unit, asked to, or given an assignment that you are not prepared for, that makes you uncomfortable, that makes you question patient safety, you have every right to say no to that assignment. You have every right to protect your license. Now, that being said, I'm not saying like you get a shitty assignment and you don't want to do it, so you say, I gotta protect my life. No, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about dangerous staffing arrangements that are just happening because we are so short-staffed right now. I have seen new grads who've been a charge nurse for a day training new grads. I've seen people off orientation for half a shift training people. It's horrific. And a big part of that reason is new graduate nurses do not realize that they need to protect their license, that they need to stand up to their employer. No, I don't give a shit who your employer is. I don't care if it's a goddamn Johns Hopkins, Mayo Clinic. I don't care. If they are putting patient lives in danger and thus risking your nursing license, you have every right to say no to that assignment. You have to advocate for yourself, especially now in the climate of what we're living in as far as healthcare goes. It's atrocious, the ways that I'm seeing new grads being just thrown on the floor, no training, no support, and no forewarning. Just, this is your job, do it. And I'm not okay with that. I'm not okay with that at all. I have already advocated fiercely this year for my new graduate nurses because I refuse to allow them to end up in the situations that I ended up as a new grad nurse, because I didn't know that I could say no to assignments. I didn't know that I could say, I need more orientation. If you request extra orientation and your employer says no, 1, ask why. 2, go above their head. 3, maybe even go to HR. Like, that's a problem. If you are requesting extra training in order to protect patient lives, you deserve that extra training. I don't care if you think you're being a burden. I don't care if you think you're making people's lives harder. If that is what you need in order to protect your license and thus your patients' lives, do it. If you are ever in a situation where your job, you have an unsafe assignment and you say, no, I cannot take that assignment, that's putting my license in danger, and they threaten you with a write-up, with disciplinary action, with any of, leave. Get out. Because no hospital worth their shit would ever jeopardize their nurses' license and their patients' lives that way. If you have a boss that is refusing you orientation, if you have people who are putting you in unfair assignments for your skill set, you can say no. You gotta have a reason, but you can say no. My baby nurses, the older nurses want you here. We love having you here, and we are here for you, most of us. We're all burnt out. We're all exhausted. We're all incredibly bitter and angry. But we're still here. We're still nurses. We still love what we do, and we're still taking care of these patients. If you have questions about how a unit should be run, lean on your older nurses. Older nurses, be there for your new nurses. Be the person that you needed. Be the elder nurse that you needed when you were a new grad. Because they are graduating into an awful, bitter, angry time in healthcare. And if they don't have our support, who can they look to? So baby nurses, look up to you big kid nurses. Big kid nurses, take care of your baby nurses. We are in a time where most healthcare providers are just looked at as a number, like I said earlier, a warm body that fills a matrix that makes it look like we are better staffed than we are. I forgot where I was going with that, because that makes me so mad when we are seen as numbers, but that's literally what it is sometimes, especially lately. And it's horribly negative, and most of the floors, everyone is burnt out and angry. But if we are not there for each other, who's going to support us? We have to support each other throughout this insanity that is healthcare right now. Remind them why you became a nurse. Remind them why they started this mess in the first place. Because coming onto some of these units, it's going to be hard for them to remember why in God's name they signed up for nursing school in the first place. but there is a reason. You didn't just sign up for nursing school because it looked fun and because the pay is great. You signed up to become a nurse because you like, hopefully, to care for people. You like taking care of your patients. I'm sorry for the noise also. I live on a dirt road, so if anyone was shocked that I grew up on a dirt road. All of this just to say, new graduate nurses, we are here for you. We love you, we support you, and we want you here. Protect yourself. Protect your license. They need you a hell of a lot more than you need them as far as your employers go. Just remember that the next time you take on an unsafe assignment. They need you. Stand up for yourself, because we'll help, I promise. If you have any questions about what it means to advocate for yourself as a nurse, or what situations where you can defend your license, or hey, new grad nurses or nurses coming into the field during COVID, I want to hear your stories. Were you thrown into the wolves, basically? Did you get much training? How was your orientation? What's it like out there? What's your unit like? Tell me about it. Drop it below. Shoot me a message. I want to hear. Because as nurses, we have to stick up for each other. If not us, who will?